In today's video, we're going to look at some useful care tips for poinsettias that are going to keep them looking beautiful and vibrant all throughout the Christmas period and beyond. Hello everyone and welcome to my balcony garden. Well, we're actually talking about an indoor plant. Normally I talk about plants I grow on my balcony outside, but today we are talking about the beautiful, festive poinsettia. You know the Christmas period is nigh when you start seeing poinsettias all over the place in supermarkets, garden centres. They're mainly grown as a seasonal plant, of course, over the Christmas period, and they are the most popular house plant, at least in the US and the UK, that are grown over this Christmas period. And their popularity is, of course, because of their stunning red bracts. These are actually modified leaves. Many people think that they're flowers because they look very flower-like. They're actually modified leaves, and they encase the real flowers, which are in the center here, these little yellow dots here, small structures there. So they encase them in this really star-like whirl, so they're just so showy and blingy and just gorgeous. There are other varieties other than red, of course. So you get them in pink, orange, you have them in white, and also in variegated varieties. My favorite, however, I think is just the classic red because it's just so gorgeous. I love, love, love red anyway. And it's just that pop color, isn't it, in the cold winter months. So now we know a little bit about our poinsettias. How do we care for them? Now, poinsettias do have a reputation for being difficult to care for. In my experience, I would say rather that they're sensitive. They cannot tolerate conditions that they don't like. They just won't put up with it. And they're very quick to show you when they're not happy. The leaves are going to start yellowing, they're going to start falling off if they're not receiving enough light, if the soil is too moist. But on the flip side, they also respond really well when you make those changes, and you're going to see foliage start to grow back really, really quickly. They forgive and forget very quickly, unlike many families of the Christmas period. Well, let's start first of all with their temperatures that they like. They are a Mexico native, so as you can imagine, they do not like the cold, and they definitely don't like a draft. So keep them away from any doors, any drafty windows. If you've got fireplaces, keep them away from that as well. Room temperature is ideal during the day, so something between 18 to 21. If your home is very warm, consider misting the leaves as well to keep the humidity up. And if you're placing your poinsettias on a windowsill, as I mentioned before, make sure that the windowsill isn't drafty at all. And if you have a radiator underneath the windowsill, leave it on, maybe turn it down a bit lower. Also, try as much as possible when you're bringing your poinsettia home from wherever you buy it to protect it as much as possible from the wind and the cold, because what can happen is you could end up seeing the damages or the effects of that blast of the cold in a few days' time, up to a week. So the poinsettia might look still healthy and happy, but you might start to see the leaves falling after a few days of having it. So just do your best to absolutely protect it from any wind. In terms of light conditions, they really benefit from a lot of light. So try placing them maybe on a bright windowsill, not a drafty one, that receives lots of indirect sunlight. They can also receive direct sunlight because the sun isn't so strong at this time of year. So a south-facing window is ideal. I had mine on my south-facing window last year and they were very happy. When it comes to watering, now I think this is where most people go a bit wrong with poinsettias. They either water too much or too little. Poinsettias like minimal watering. So allow the soil to dry out between watering. Depending on the size of your poinsettia and of course how warm your home is, this could mean watering every 2 days to maybe once a week. To know if it's time to water, you can either just put your finger onto the soil, put it down maybe an inch or two into the soil, and if it's still moist, I would just leave it. You can also pick up the pot, and if it's light when you're carrying it, it means it's ready to water the plant. And never have your poinsettias sitting in water. This can create root rot, and when we've got root rot, well then, it's not looking good. If you are watering incorrectly, the first signs are going to be the leaves will yellow very quickly and then drop off. So if your poinsettia is doing that, just check it out, see what the watering situation is, and then just do what needs to be done. And as I mentioned before, you can also mist around the plant. They're going to love it. In terms of fertilising, you can do it if you wish. Some people choose not to. If you decide to fertilise your poinsettias, do it maybe every 2 weeks. I use just my normal houseplant fertiliser, a liquid fertiliser, and I've always had success with that. So, if you follow all the tips in this video and the Christmas period is over and you still have a stunningly red, fabulous poinsettia, what do you do with it? So you have two options. The first one, which is what many people do, is just to recycle it. Many people see poinsettias as just a temporary houseplant. The second option is to keep your poinsettia on, keep it on as a houseplant, and just follow the care tips in this video and you should have no problems. When April comes around, this is when you want to prune your poinsettia quite hard back to maybe about 10 centimeters. Make sure that there are still buds available. It's also time to repot them because the growth season is just about to start and the plant is just going to explode really. So it's going to want to have a lot of nice space to extend its roots and just grow bigger. I'm actually going to do a separate video on that. So near the time, if you're interested, have a look at that. So that was my care video for poinsettias. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribe. I hope you're all staying safe and well. I hope you're all enjoying autumn, slowly coming into winter. I send you all my good wishes and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.